Okay, so we're going to have a look at Free Fallin'. Nice, easy song for beginners. It's got a capo 3, so when you place your capo on, make sure you get it directly over the strings and it presses on nice and smooth. You don't want it to sort of bend the strings like this. You want it to just fall on the strings nice and even, so they're just pressing directly against it. Okay, it's good, this song, because it's got 3 chords and it's the same chords all the way through, so you can like sing along with the verse and the chorus. You basically got a full song with just 3 chords. So I'm just going to dive straight into the actually I'll just play you the sequence first. Oh yeah, that's wrong. It would be a so you can see a D, G and an A. I'm going to show you them chords first. So the reason why I'm using the G here with the 3rd and 4th finger is because when you move from the 3rd finger, you see the 3rd finger's there on that 2nd string, and then you go to the G here, you can see it's there. Now you don't have to move that finger, and it sort of like acts as a sort of pivot for you to move from one chord to the other really smoothly. So let's just work on our D. So 1st finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, 2nd at the bottom, 3rd in the middle. So that should sound like that, strumming from the 4th there. Now to move to the G effectively, keep your 3rd finger on. So put your little finger underneath it and take these 2 off, and then move them up to the top where you would do a G. So it's worth practicing that. So get in your D, put your little finger underneath the 3rd and move these 2 to the top. And to get back, you've got to put them 2 back in position for the D and take your little finger off. So you can practice doing that backwards the way you came. So little finger on, then fingers up, then them fingers down, little finger off. Ultimately you want to do that in one move, so when you got your D and you're thinking about your little finger, just your little finger and them together, and then when you're putting that back on, your little finger should automatically just lift off. Ultimately that's where you want to be, but if you're slower than that, it doesn't matter. Just it's good to do it in a little sequence of D, and then put your little finger on, move that up, strum it again, back to the D, and then to an A chord, which is here. It's probably the first chord you learn, or the E minor maybe. So it's a nice easy one to do. So 1st finger there on the 4th string, 2nd below it, 3rd below it. They're all squeezed onto the 2nd fret. Now because you've got a capo on, it's hard to do. The further you go up, the frets get smaller. So you might want to just use one finger. If you got bigger fingers, you might not like to do that. If you got dainty fingers, then you're fine with that, but that sounds just as good. You might struggle to get the 1st string doing that, but it doesn't matter too much. So here's the sequence at the top here. So you see these X's, what they are is just tapping the string like that. So I'm just tapping the string, hitting them. So we go D, hit the string. So you see D and then an X, and then G, and then a tap. So the first 2 bits here. And then the next bits are G, D, tap, A. So G, D, tap, A, and then tap. So I'm just hitting the strings like that with my hand. So D, tap, G, and then tap, and then G, D, tap, A, tap. So the tap is basically resembling the snare on the drums. Doot, cat, doot, cat. So the ka is the. So it gives a percussive element. If I took that out and just went, it seems kind of empty. Even even though it works, I'll add it in now. You see, having that in gives a bit of a drive to it, a bit of a drum groove. Okay, so I'm going to put the song on now, and it's basically the same all the way through. You'll see if I show you the top line. She's a good girl, she loves her mama. I've just not put the X's in there for the tats, but what I would suggest you just learn this really well, that you can just switch off from even looking at the chords, and just the lyrics you should only look at the chords to tell you where it actually comes in. So she's a good is on the D. She's a good girl. See the G there, the girl was on the G. So she's a good girl, loves her mama. Okay, so that's where you need to look at the chords above the words to just make sure the timing's right. Okay, so let's get this riff going around a couple of times, and then I'll just start coming in. So I'll take it slow. D, G. So D, G, G, D. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses and a boyfriend too. Let's do the chords again. So D, G, G, D, A, D, G, G, D. It's a long day living in Reseda. There's a freeway running through the yard, and I'm a bad boy, and I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart. Now free, free falling. Now I'm free, free falling. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses and a boyfriend too. Now I'm free, free falling. Now I'm free, free falling. Okay, so at the end there, I just added some more strums to it. So if you just like this. So I just got my hand going like this. Just strumming a bit more. You can leave some strums out, but I'm not getting into too much detail about strumming. There's plenty of videos I've done which talk in detail about strumming, how to achieve that. Alright, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much. Bye bye.